Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, July 16th, 2024 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I balance myself by nurturing both my light and my shadows. All right, so today we have the moon in Scorpio helping reignite this Mars-Uranus conjunction as the moon continues to move through Scorpio and actually finish in Scorpio later today. It will be activating an opposition of this Mars-Uranus energy. At the time of this opposition, Mars and Uranus will actually be at different degrees. Uranus is going to be still hanging out at 26. Mars is moving on to 27 degrees. And yet, they're still, working together. They're still strong enough. Now, this energy is so interesting because Mars and Uranus, as you probably felt, packs a punch. It can bring the frustrations and the aggro up in you, and it's meant to trigger you, to help you shift, to help you move. But Moon in Scorpio has another layer. Moon in Scorpio is like, no, there's still some shadow in there. There's still some darkness in there that you need to look at. Now, as I was meditating on this, what really came up was the energy of fear. Scorpio can definitely take us into places of survival and fear. And I see so much of it on the world stage right now. And the world stage can really show us what's going on in the subconscious and the unconscious. So I will just say what I have observed. I have observed so much fear, and it's understandable, when it comes to the election. I feel people on both sides of the major parties are not, for the most part, voting for their character, we're going to call it that, out of love, but out of fear that the other one may get in. And I really believe that, quote, don't move the way fear moves you, move the way love moves you. And yet, on this very public, huge world stage, there is so much fear for so many different reasons, valid or not. It's still this fearful energy instead of love. And so that's just one example of so many, right? This is what we need to look at with the moon moving through Scorpio. As it connects to this Uranus energy, as it connects to this Mars energy, which may have you feeling very feisty, it's a feisty morning, is noticing where you are still aligning yourself with fear and where you can make slight shifts towards love. Even if you're not willing to do it in a huge way, in huge steps, little steps matter. And this might be little things in your life. Like I said, that's one example, but it's rampant. We have been bombarded by fear for the last several years, whether it's about our health or our politicians or about money. So this energy is like driving up these energies to the surface to be felt and dealt with. Now, what I love is that the sun and the moon begin the day together in a trine. Not together, but working together in a trine, which is a happy connection. And they are in the water signs. This is feeling. Feeling your way through this will be healing. At least acknowledging, I want to vote for so-and-so because I am fearful of the other. Even just acknowledging, making this, the darkness in this case, this fear, conscious, is really important. I love that quote by Carl Jung that says, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. So important to lean into these places and really see what is driving your actions. That's part of the Mars energy. Mars asks us to check in. What is your motivation? And it's so interesting that Mars and Uranus are hanging out in Taurus, which is the sign that represents our values. So it's important right now to like kind of liberate your values and find that aligned action. I think it's a really potent time as well for mental clarity. As we have Jupiter in Gemini at 11 degrees, that's a healing degree. And so you might find yourself making progress with habits of your mind, habits of thinking, because this healing energy is like, I got you. Let's see if we can invigorate your thinking with some possibility beyond doom and fear and all of that. I know lots of people have a lot of things to say, but like, let's just get past these fearful things and let's see with little steps towards love what we can do. As the moon well, let me tell you, this opposition is going to happen between 11:30 and p.m. or a.m., a.m. Pacific time and about 1 p.m. Pacific time. You might find a little more aggro creeping up, especially as the moon and Mars get involved. I'm hearing fisticuffs in my head. You know, that Mars energy can definitely want to fight. So watch that energy coming on board. We also have the moon connecting to Neptune a little bit later. And I think so often in meditation, in time, in connecting with the divine, we tap into our soul. And when I say solution, that's what I'm talking about. Solution from soul. Soul energy at work, at play in our life, allowed to come, bubble up, and move through. Allowed to bubble up through the fears and show us how to dance with all of the possibilities, because there are many possibilities at play in all this. We have the moon moving into Sagittarius, hello, home of possibility, at about 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Moon in Sagittarius, again, gives us some broader horizons. I love the shift between Scorpio and Sagittarius because I think that there's so much potential of alchemy there, especially if we're, you know, kind of lost in the darkness and fear. In Scorpio, Sagittarius is like, let's turn it upside down and look at it another way. So thankful for Sagittarius to come in and kind of give us a different perspective of things. Now, the moon in Sagittarius will make its first connection to Pluto, because Pluto's still at play. And please note, we are building to the full moon. Sagittarius is the last sign before the full moon. The full moon will be in Capricorn. And this full moon, at the end of Capricorn, it's going to be very close to Pluto. So pay attention to what Pluto brings up to you as the moon in Sagittarius and Pluto connect. This is a sextile. Pluto ultimately wants empowerment, and maybe we can find that energy as these two energies engage. Again, just be willing to look at those shadows. Oh, talking about change. Top of the cards as I look at it is change. And it's funny, I have a stack of cards today. I got change on one end and we are the world on the other. Both 10 energy, okay? So 10 to me is like completion and new beginnings wrapped up all in one. It is the Wheel of Fortune, you know? We're up or down. I take comfort in a phrase my friend said, that the universe can take the nefarious and use it for good. And I hope for that. But meanwhile, I do my part of trying not to feed into the nefarious so much and really leaning towards what would love do. Love is not nefarious, right? Love is going to lean in a solid direction that we can trust. So we do have intensity today. Like I said, that Moon Mars energy, it's looking for a fight. It's itching for some controversy, and you might find those today. And I mean, just go to the internet if you're looking for somebody who wants to, you know, when you want to say the sky is blue and they want to fight with you about it, right? Like, there's definitely some of that energy. And right behind it is let it go. So see where you can let go of some of this emotion. And if you're feeling that fight, what is that motivation? What is pushing that fight in you right now? What is it? tuning into our innocence, the Sun card, this reminds me again of what I just said. The universe can take the nefarious and use it for good. That has become a core belief that I carry within myself. And it helps when the fear songs in me start going. You want to watch the shoulddiness in all of this, okay? The shoulddiness often plays right into the fear songs. And shoulddiness goes hand in hand with the miser. Holding on to stuff that no longer belongs. Again, let it go. All right? See where you can let it go. Definitely an emotional roller coastery kind of day. May taper off after that Moon Mars energy. You may find yourself as we go into void moon space. Use that time to tune in and lean into solution. So, I was going to suggest, speaking of solution, I mentioned yesterday that I would love to have mini text sessions. We have this full moon coming up. If you are feeling need of support, this would be a great week to activate these things. So let me know. Send me an email. Let's text. Does anybody text like that anymore? I guess I do. Right? Yeah. Anyway. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and remember who you are. For you are the solution. Namaste.